Shalom. Call Haloyamla, Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Racha Kodash, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahushai, Brakata Racha Kodash, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Racha Kodash. Shalom and double honors unto the elder apostles of Great Millstone and the elders in Akim, Wa Akwath, Shalom. Just want to go ahead and go into a quick article. There was a breaking news earlier today that in this title here of this article, it says pro-Russia hackers claim responsibility for intense ongoing cyber attack against Lithuanian websites. So this is a direct response to the blockade that Lithuania imposed upon Russia, as we went into in a couple videos back about Lithuania, when they blocked Russia from traveling on that railroad that they have right of passage through the land of Lithuania to get to their landmass of Kaliningrad, which Russia, is it's their territory. But the only way to get to it is to travel through Lithuania, and Lithuania is a part of NATO and the European Union, headed by who? The Babylon the Great, America. And so we knew that there would be obviously a retaliation from Russia and from Vladimir Putin, because he's not going to just take that, lying down, obviously, and Putin is calling it an act of war. And so we'll go ahead and read a few paragraphs here and then get a couple precepts and close out. It says, an intense ongoing cyber attack has hit the websites of government agencies and private firms in Lithuania, the Baltic countries' defense ministry said Monday. So the Baltic, that's another name for Lithuania. Reading on, it says, a Russian-speaking hacking group known as KillNet claimed responsibility for at least some of the hacks, saying they were in retaliation for Lithuania blocking the shipment of some goods to the Russian enclave of Kaliningrad, which is wedged between Lithuania and Poland. So Lithuania is only doing this because why? The whore, America, Babylon the Great, is telling Lithuania what to do. Lithuania is just merely a follower, because we're in the feet of the statue, the feet of iron mixed with clay. Iron is the strong nations, which is headed by America. Is the iron, and the clay which are the weaker nations like Lithuania, who are simply followers of the whore inside of NATO and the European Union. So Lithuania is just following orders from the whore, because the whore, America, is instigating everything, because they were trying to absorb as many countries surrounding Russia as possible into NATO to attack Russia eventually, and with that show of force, and then eventually attack Russia to be able to overthrow the bear, and to overthrow the prophecies of the bear Russia, taking the whore out in the end. And then so because with the Ukrainian war, because America was trying to take Ukraine and trying to add them to to NATO, and the Russians wasn't having that. So because that's the old Soviet Union territory, they're trying to take back they're taking back their rightful landmass of the Ukraine. And then and what was America doing? They were funneling and giving sending military weaponry to Ukraine to fight the Russians, instigating the whole thing to continue to keep the battle going against Russia, to fight back the best they can. And they were transporting the military weapons through Germany and Poland in these countries, and the weapons was touching down in Germany and Poland, and then they were transferring the weaponry to the Ukrainians to keep the fight and battle going against the Russians. And so Russia was like, hey, look here, man, we're going to go ahead and turn our attentions to Germany and Poland and them. And so that's part of why they are traveling through Lithuania to get to their landmass of Kaliningrad to drop off the Iskander tactical nuclear missiles so that they can position those missiles and point them and aim them at the European Union, at Europe and NATO over there, to tell them to stop it, to threaten them. It's like basically trying to get a gun and put it to the head of basically putting a gun to their head and telling them to stop, or they're going to shoot those missiles. And they're trying to threaten them because they can't use a full-blown Satan II missile, because that's just a destroyer missile that will affect Russia and burn Russia as well, for how much landmass it'll cover. So they have lesser, quote-unquote, tactical nuclear missiles, like the Iskander missile, which has a shorter range. They got to get it in range, and Kaliningrad is perfectly set. It's the perfect distance to be able to shoot that short-range nuclear missile to Europe, to cover a small pocket of that landmass to go ahead and take them out if they don't stop. So America knows that, and that's why they had Lithuania. And this is all of the Lord. This is incredible chess work by the Most High, because that's another wrinkle that the Most High added to the chessboard that will kickstart the powder keg of World War III, because America knows what Russia is going to do. It basically just set up those missiles by traveling through Lithuania to get to Kaliningrad, put the nuclear missiles there to threaten Europe. So America say nope. They told Lithuanian officials and the military to go ahead and cut off the Russians and stop them from going over there to travel to set that up. And so we obviously know that Russia's not going to take that, so they're going to retaliate in some manner. And so this is the beginning of those attacks, that response to America having Lithuania set up that blockade and disrupt their travel. And so this is the beginning. This is just going to further escalate. This is just the next steps of the lead up to the grand finale, the main event of the World War III. So continuing here, so we'll go down here. It says, Monday's cyber attacks were aimed in part at Lithuania's secure data transfer network, a communications network for government officials that is built to withstand war and other crises, according to the defense ministry. So obviously this proves another key nugget too, that Russia is superior to any technology that the lesser countries that's a part of the NATO are, and also more superior than America and their weaponry and their technology. Because if you heard about it in one of the videos I did a few videos back, there were reports the U.S. and NATO, they were complaining about Russia jamming the GPS signals in their naval ships when they were doing military drills out in the ocean, and Russia was jamming their signals. So that proves that Russia has the far superior technology. Well, I'm gonna say far, but possibly far, but at least it's a greater technology than the America, and that further proves that Russia is going to take down America because they are more superior with the military. So, because this proves also that the Most High is no longer dealing with the whore, Babylon the Great, allowing the whore Babylon the Great to run rampant, and it's America's descent and fall is near, and Russia is being built up. They're stronger now than America, and they're going to burn them with fire eventually, here pretty soon, according to the prophecies. So reading on, it says, part of the secure national data transfer network, users have been unable to access services. So Russian hackers have shut down Lithuania's cyber network. Work is in progress to restore it to normal, Lithuania's National Cybersecurity Center said in a statement issued by the Defense Ministry. It is highly probable that such, or even more, intense attacks will continue into the coming days, especially against the communications, energy, and financial sectors. Acting NKSC Director Jonas Skardinskas said in a statement. So, let's see, the type of hack in question is known as a distributed denial of service attack, which floods websites with phony traffic to knock them offline. It's a common tool favored by hacktivists like KillNet, suspected non-state actors who conduct cyber attacks for political causes. So, this is just another escalation in these last days. With the advancement of technology, this is an added wrinkle of warfare, cyber attacks, and hacking. So, this is a new added battlefield in the digital networks because these countries they highly rely upon digital networks as part of their military weaponry and military arsenals and military procedures now. And if they shut that down, because like when they're out in the ocean or in a plane, or in the Air Force and the fighter jets, if they scramble their GPS, then they basically have blinded the pilots. And then if they jam up the communications, the headquarters of the military bases communicating with the fighter jets or with the fighter ships, then that's their brains. So if they scramble the brains and then blind the eyes, then they'll be all discombobulated, and they'll be easy. They can't communicate with each other to coordinate and know what's going on in the battle. So Russia is superior to them, and this is further proof, foreshadowing that it's going to be a victory for Russia. But this is all going to happen when the Most High wants it to happen, and it's not of the Edomites, because these are all Edomites. This is just Edomite on Edomite, or quote unquote white on white crime, and the Most High is just putting them against each other, where they're going to destroy each other in the end. So Russia's going to take out America, and then the Messiah is going to return simultaneously and take out Russia and all of its Confederate armies, all of its allies, and then the kingdom of heaven will be instituted with the Israelites under the Most High power of Yahweh. So we'll go ahead and get a couple of precepts and close out. I'll put the link of the description I'll put the link in the description box so you guys can read the rest of the article for yourself. So here, Revelation chapter 17 and verse 1. And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. And that's Babylon the Great. And the waters are all the nations. Drop down to verse 15. And he said unto me, The waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. So Babylon the Great, America, they sit upon all the nations of the earth. And how they do that? With the military might, with the garrisons, the military bases are all throughout all the other nations, keeping them in check with the muscle of the military, and then also through NATO and the European Union through the economic, with the petrodollar, the economy. And then if any nation don't follow the strict economic guidelines, then they'll hit them with sanctions like they do in Russia right now. So that's how they sit upon the other nations on the earth, through the finances and through the military might, to keep them in check that way. So verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. So who is this? This is Lithuania and Germany, Poland, all of these nations that are a part of NATO. So the 10 horns, when you go back, if you Google it and research it, it's called the Treaty of Rome, back in like 1958. It was original 10 nations that began the NATO, which began, those are the 10 horns. And that was the beginning foundation of NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, over there with the European Union as well over there. So now they're beginning to hate the whore because America, the whore, is instigating all of these actions, and Lithuania and Germany and Poland, all of these countries, all these NATO allies are having to do so. They probably don't want to because they're afraid, because they right there by Russia, and they know Russia got the strongest military and all of these thermal nukes that they're going to get hit with because the whore is instigating everything. And so they're going to get tired of the whore steady dragging them into this war with Russia, and then they're going to turn and link up with Russia and be a part of the Russians and all of its allies that's going to shoot their arrows, which are the thermonuclear missiles, at the whore and burn her. So continuing on. Verse 16 from the top. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. That's NATO and the European Union going to hate the whore now. They tired of her putting them in harm's way against the Russians. And shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh. How? And burn her with fire. So that's what's going to happen. For the Most High Power Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will. So this shows you this is the ultimate chess game the Most High is doing, because, like I said, America, the whore, the Most High was allowing the whore to for a little season rule the earth, and then now he's no longer allowing. He's pulling back that protection that he had to allow her to do this, America, and now all other nations are starting to hate her. Russia has been built up in the background, and now they about to take her down. Verse 17 from the top. For Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree. They're going to agree to link up to take down the whore and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the Most High Power Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, shall be fulfilled. Because also, the Edomites, so-called white race, they are a nation of thieves. And you know the phrase, there is no honor amongst thieves. So what that means, that they have traitorous potential. So that's what they're going to do in the end. Verse 18. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city. What city is that? Babylon the Great, America, which reigneth over the kings of the earth. Everybody wear three-piece suits. Why? Because the whore and what they put in place over here. And everybody follow it and wander after the beast, where she's about to get taken down, thus saith the Lord. So with this video, I hope it was edifying. The water to the Ruach HaKodesh from the Almighty Power Yahweh, through his only begotten Son, sending it in his name. Until the next video, I say, Shalom.